Create table syntax. Create table is the first lecture we're covering as part of the DDL statements. As explained in the lecture, DDL statements are used to create a new database object or modify or change the structure of the database object, such as a table. It's used to create a table, change the structure of the table by adding a new column or changing data type, or drop a column as well, plus building the relationship between the tables. So the first DDL statement we're covering is the create table. So the create table statement, you start with the create table keyword. Then you specify the table name, HR employees. So we know that we have the employees table. Select the star from employees. So we might try to create a similar table but with a different name, because this table, it's good to create this table because it has a number data type, it has a string or a varchar, what we call it, or and date values. So it has different data types. So let's start. So let's create a new table called HR employees, and we specify the columns we want to add to this table. It's not necessarily to be the same name, but we need to specify the table, the column names, and we start with, we open the parentheses, the brackets. Then we start specifying the column name. The first column, employee ID, and we can start call it emp ID. And then we specify the data type, number. If I want to limit like number of 6, this means this attribute can hold up to 6 digits. But if you leave it number, this means you leave it to the maximum, which is kind of 38 digits. So maybe we don't need to specify first name, last name, we just add full name. And for the string, we use varchar2 data type. And let's say the full name would be 100 characters, or maybe to be in the safe side, we add 200 characters. Then we can add email address, another column, and this one is varchar2 because it's a string attribute. Let's have it 100. Higher date, and this is a data type. So the higher date attribute will accept only date values. Salary, and we can specify it as a number attribute. And here is for the number, we can add like 10 digits to salary and 2 decimal points. So you can store up to 2 decimal points. You can do that, or leave it as a number, still can accept decimal points as well. Salary, you can add department ID, for example, and this one is varchar2 of 10. So this is the create statement. If we run this statement, it will create the table in the database. Let's run it and see if, hopefully we don't have any syntax errors. So table HR employees created. So the table now is created, and we can select from the table name. Select star from HR employees. So no records. we can use the insert statement to insert records in this table now, like insert into HR employees, and we can specify the names, full name, email address. I can stop here. I don't need to select all the attributes, so we can employee ID, last name concatenated with comma, then concatenate with last name, and for the email it's email attribute. So let's run the select statement. So the SQL statement from the employees table is returning the employee ID, the name, the concatenated name, and the email, and I can insert it into this table. I have 3 columns specified, so the data type should match. The size of the columns, at least the destination columns, should have enough length for the data we're importing, and same data types. So if we run the insert statement here, insert, so now we have 107 records inserted. And if we go back and run the select statement from this new table HR employees, we have all the records, and now we can execute the commit statement. Commit completed. Now the data is permanently saved in the HR employees table. So this is how you create a table. This is the very simple create table statement. As we proceed with the DDL statements, we'll introduce more advanced features to the table structure and how you control and change the table structure.